In 1930, football was not a billion-dollar industry. It was simply a dream. The first FIFA World Cup was held in Uruguay, with only 13 nations participating. There were no qualification rounds, no massive sponsorship deals, no television contracts, and no billion-dollar business behind the tournament. European teams had to cross the Atlantic Ocean by ship, a journey that took almost 3 weeks. Many countries could not make the trip. The prize was simple: a golden trophy and the pride of becoming the world's first champion. Back then, football belonged to the people. But before the World Cup existed, there was an idea. On May 21, 1904, representatives from 7 countries gathered in Paris: France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland created an organization called FIFA, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association. Their goal was simple: to unite football around the world and allow nations to compete under the same rules. The first FIFA president, Robert Guérin, was not a businessman. He was a journalist who loved football. FIFA was created because of passion, not profit. In 1921, Jules Rimet became FIFA president with one great vision: a tournament where every nation could come together. After the destruction of the First World War, Rimet believed football could unite countries that had once fought against each other. His dream became reality in 1930 when the first World Cup was born. Rimet personally carried the trophy to Uruguay inside a simple box. There were no bodyguards, no luxury ceremonies, no political performances. Only a dream that football could bring the world together. But history has a difficult truth. When an idealistic organization becomes powerful, the original ideals often become smaller. From the 1950s and 1960s, FIFA expanded. More countries from Asia, Africa, and Latin America joined. The World Cup became more popular. Then television arrived, and with television came money. Football was no longer only a sport, it was becoming a global business. In 1974, Joan Havelange became the president of FIFA. He understood something very important. To control global football, FIFA needed more than passion. It needed money. Havelange built relationships with major corporations and brought global sponsors into football. Companies like Adidas became closely connected with FIFA. Television rights, sponsorship deals, and commercial partnerships transformed FIFA from a small sporting organization into a powerful global institution. But with more money came more questions. During Havelange's era, FIFA's financial world became increasingly complicated. The Brazilian marketing company ISL received major FIFA marketing rights. Later investigations revealed that millions of dollars in secret payments had been made to football officials. The scandal damaged FIFA's reputation and raised a serious question: was football still being controlled by people who loved the game, or by people who understood the power of money? Havelange was never convicted and passed away in 2013, but the controversy became a symbol of FIFA's growing problems. In 1998, Sepp Blatter became FIFA president. He inherited the organization built by Havelange and expanded it into a global empire. Blatter understood the politics of football better than anyone. Small football nations in Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean received development funding from FIFA. But critics argued that these financial relationships also helped Blatter maintain political support and win elections again and again. Money created influence. Influence created power. During Blatter's leadership, choosing World Cup hosts became one of FIFA's most controversial processes. The decisions were surrounded by allegations of secret deals, political influence, and corruption. For years, many people inside football knew something was wrong, but speaking against FIFA's powerful system often came with a price. Then came the moment that shook football forever. In May 2015, Swiss authorities entered a luxury hotel in Zurich and arrested several senior FIFA officials. The world watched as football's most powerful organization faced its biggest crisis. Investigators accused dozens of officials and business executives of involvement in bribery, money laundering, and illegal payments connected to football marketing and broadcasting rights. The image of FIFA changed forever. The organization that claimed to protect football was now fighting to protect itself. After the corruption crisis, FIFA needed a new face, someone who could promise change, someone who could convince the world that a new era had begun. That person was Gianni Infantino. After the biggest crisis in FIFA's history, the organization needed someone who could rebuild its image. In 2016, Gianni Infantino became the new FIFA president. His message was simple: more transparency, less corruption, a new FIFA. He promised to return football to the people and increase financial support for smaller football nations. For many countries, especially smaller federations, it sounded like a new beginning. But critics soon questioned whether FIFA had truly changed. They argued that Infantino did not destroy the old system. He modernized it. Instead of traditional political deals, FIFA became more corporate, more global, and more focused on expansion. New programs, new tournaments, and new commercial opportunities created more revenue than ever before. But the question remained: was FIFA growing football, or was football growing FIFA? In 2010, FIFA announced that Qatar would host the 2022 World Cup. The decision shocked many people. Qatar had no major football tradition and had never qualified for a World Cup before. Questions immediately appeared. Why Qatar? How did a country with extreme weather conditions and limited football history win the right to host the biggest tournament in the world? The decision became one of the most debated moments in FIFA history.
To prepare for the World Cup, Qatar built enormous stadiums and infrastructure projects. Hundreds of thousands of migrant workers arrived from countries including Nepal, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and others. Human rights organizations raised concerns about working conditions, delayed wages, extreme heat, and the kafala labor system. Qatar introduced labor reforms and rejected many accusations, but criticism continued over whether the changes were enough. The debate became bigger than football itself. Before the Qatar World Cup began, Infantino defended the tournament and criticized Western countries for judging Qatar. He argued that football could create dialogue and bring change, but critics asked a different question: can football create change while ignoring the problems surrounding it? For many, that question remained unanswered. Under Infantino, FIFA continued expanding. The 2026 World Cup increased from 32 teams to 48 teams. The number of matches increased from 64 to 104. FIFA argued that more nations would get the chance to participate, but critics pointed out another reality: more teams mean more matches mean more broadcasting rights, more sponsors, and more money. The expansion also created concerns about player health. Top footballers are now expected to play club competitions, international matches, and new tournaments throughout the year. Players and unions have warned that the modern football calendar is becoming impossible. They say players are not machines. Football may be growing financially, but the physical cost is being paid by the people on the field. The next major controversy came with the 2034 World Cup. Saudi Arabia was selected as the host nation, creating another global debate. Supporters say the tournament can help develop football and create new opportunities. Critics argue that major sporting events are being used to improve a country's international image, while human rights concerns remain. This strategy is often called sports washing, using the popularity of sports to change public perception. In recent years, Saudi Arabia has invested heavily in global sports. Football stars, boxing events, Formula One, golf, and other major competitions have become part of a larger international strategy. The argument is simple: sports can connect nations and create positive change. But critics ask another question: can a country change its image through sports without addressing deeper issues? This debate is no longer only about football. It is about politics, money, and influence. One of FIFA's biggest arguments is that its growing income helps develop football around the world. Through programs like FIFA Forward, money is distributed to national football associations. For smaller nations, this funding can be extremely important, but critics question how effectively the money is monitored. Without strong accountability, development funds can become connected to politics and power instead of real football growth. Africa produces some of the greatest football talents in the world, but many African leagues remain financially weak. Young players move to Europe, where clubs earn millions from their talent. Yet the football systems that develop those players often receive very little benefit. Many believe FIFA has the power to create a fairer system, but meaningful change has been slow. Football was created in neighborhoods, streets, and small fields. It became a dream for millions of children around the world. But today, football exists between two worlds. One world is billion-dollar stadiums, sponsorships, and global business. The other is the child who plays football because the game makes him feel free. In 1930, the World Cup was about one question: who is the best football team in the world? Today, football is surrounded by bigger questions. How much money can it generate? How many sponsors can it attract? How many matches can be sold? But the most important question remains: who does football really belong to? FIFA, corporations, or the millions of fans who love the game? Because football was never created to be just a product. It was created to be a dream. And as long as people continue to question, support, and love the game, football will remain more than business. It will remain football.